United by rhythm. United by rhythm. And if you don't believe that, get out of my house.
My musical influences: Kraftwerk, Parliament Funkadelic, Stevie Wonder, Tangerine Dream, Guns N' Roses. I'm all over the place, man. Carl Craig, Danny Tenaglia. I'm everywhere. I like good music.
One love. One people. United by rhythm.
My tastes are wide and varied. I'm DJ Craig Mitchell. That's what people call me. But I try to be more than just DJ Craig Mitchell, but you know, if that's the calling card, then I'll take it. But I'm a singer, I'm a musician, I'm a producer, and hopefully social equity and social justice. I do lots of stuff. Jack of all trades. Where I grew up was great. It was the projects, for sure. And all these folks moved from the South to Michigan to work in the auto plants. And there was no impetus to save. No one saved money. Because the money was coming in. People were getting paid big bucks. Everyone had 3 or 4 cars. People were taking cruises and, you know, spending every dime. No one owned a business. There was no such thing as independent business. And then one day, everything shut down. I don't know if you've seen Michael Moore's film, Roger and Me. Saginaw closed before Flint did, even. And so it's the Tri-City area, Flint, Saginaw, Bay City. So we closed first. Within 3 months, we had bars in our windows. Triple locks on the doors. Like, it was like rats in a cage. Because all these people that had all this money, all of a sudden, they couldn't sell the cars. Who's gonna buy them? There's no one who has any money. So it became, you know, where if we heard like noise outside, my mom would shut off all the lights. And there was a 3-step landing before you went up to the second floor. And we look out the window and my mother would go, "Oh my God, that's so-and-so's son." And she'd grab the phone. "Do you know your son's shooting at people in the front yard?" And that became my reality until I moved to Vermont. It was a tough time growing up there. But, you know, and also, again, moving to Vermont and all of a sudden being black man, like, oh, I gotta be, you know, the voice of the black community at a predominantly white college, which was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I'm not the guy. But also clashing with the black students because the way we grew up was very different. I grew up not being black enough in my black neighborhood because I was lighter than most folks that were there. I didn't talk like everyone else because my family, I was just the smart kid, quote unquote. And my family wouldn't allow me to hang out with hoodlums. I mean, where I grew up, it was, at the time, the highest murder rate per capita in the country, and I was a soft kid. So they needed a scapegoat. So I got picked on. I got chased home and beaten up all the time. But on the other side of town, the quote unquote white side of town, I wasn't white enough. Like, wait a minute, so I don't fit in anywhere. I came to Vermont. All of a sudden, I was black man. Whoa, how am I gonna navigate this? And I had a whole set of things I had to figure out. And then also dealing with coming out and being gay. I was ostracized by everyone. So for me, it's like, I'm not your friend and I'm not buying into your rules. Yeah, sure, Craig's black, sure. Yeah, sure, Craig's gay, yeah, sure. But also Craig likes watching, you know, HGTV. Craig likes watching the Food Network. My main thought is I just want to be Craig. You know, Craig is the most important thing. Whatever I need to do for me, and part of what makes me me is helping other people and making other people smile. I was in college at St. Mike's. I was working in the student activities office, and it was Valentine's Day weekend. The DJ canceled. It was a family emergency. We're all like scrambling trying to find a DJ, and everyone was booked, obviously. It's a college, you know, all the colleges are booking DJs. It's a Friday night, Valentine's Day. Uh-oh. So finally, like, end of the day, I'm like, you know what? I guess I can do it, which I never even planned on DJing. So next thing you know, I was DJing 5-6 nights a week in college. It felt like, it still feels like, Vermont allows me to experiment and have fun, and I mean, not all the time, but most of the time. And it gave me the confidence to do what I did when I was living in the New York City area. I mean, I worked for Kinetic Records, which is a division of Warner Brothers, and I worked for Richard Branson, and I started a label for Yoko Ono. And the only plaque I have on my wall, for example, is Yoko Ono's Walking on Thin Ice, which went to #1. the Strokes recorded, a lot of their first album in our living room, with me and my crew in New York. And Jay-Z would come by, and Yoko Ono would come by, and LL Cool J. And I'm this soft little kid from Michigan who, all of a sudden is doing, commercial for McDonald's and Bloomberg. I did his whole campaign, all the voiceovers for that. And I did Celebrity Deathmatch, MTV, and MTV, Spring Break. I'm down in Jamaica, like doing my thing. Whoa! So it's cooler to everyone else in my head, or it was cooler to everyone else. And then they got in my head, I should say. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're doing what? With who? When? Where? What? Oh yeah. The reason why I came back here, it was one night I was out with several friends, and I won't name them, but they were pretty prominent folks. And I called them up that afternoon and said, you know what? I got this. Everything's on me. I got the drinks. I got dinner. Blah, blah, I got the limo, whatever. Blah. So we go have dinner at my favorite restaurant. Then we went to Centrifly, my favorite club at the time in New York. So go to Centrifly, and I go to the door. They're still in the car getting themselves together. And I go to the door guy, and I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Got my table ready. He goes, yeah, but man, you didn't reserve a table. I'm like, yo, I got to reserve a table. I'm here every week. You're going to embarrass me in front of my friends? Really, dude? Blah, blah. I started calling them all kind of names, and I started throwing hundreds on the ground. Guys picking up, like, dude, like, relax. I'm like, dude, don't do this to me. Come on. So we get inside, we get the table. Liquor comes. And it's like 4 a.m. And I went, who the hell do I think I am? Like, this is not me. I'm treating people like crap. And I thought about the last few months prior to that. And I'm like, wow, I've been this person for a while. And within 30 days, I moved back to Vermont. I got rid of the Yoko Ono label. Gave away all my other projects and moved back here. And my crew now, they work with Portugal the Man and Lil Wayne and Jay Sean and Nicki Minaj, all these people. I'm happier now being in Vermont. We're all one people united by rhythm. When I'm DJing, I think of myself, one, as a music promoter. Hopefully I'm delivering a message of let's all be together. We're all enjoying this together on this dance floor. Just like the samples with Bernie Sanders and Martin Luther King and all those things I mix in when I'm playing, it's really just to remind people that this is a safe space. And everyone's invited. Everyone's invited, from the drag queen to the football player. So when I'm on stage, whether I'm DJing or singing, if I'm not having a good time, what's the point? Why'd I show up? Because I want you to have a good time as well. So I'm a people pleaser, and some people, they've said to me in many instances in my life that, oh, Craig, you're too nice. No, I am nice. Not too nice. I'm just Craig, and Craig happens to be nice. So don't say I'm too, because that says I'm less than. No, don't do that. But part of that being nice is I want you to move. Let's go, let's get crazy. Let's lose all your inhibitions, and let's be free together. So I think that's really what it is. But the other side of that too is, part of that is my escape. I get all my energy from being alone when I'm up there going nuts. It's because otherwise I'm sitting at home on the couch playing video games. So this is me going, woo, getting that energy out.
United by rhythm.
And I'm not saying that I'm faking it, but it's the alter ego. As I tell people, there's Craig and there's Craig Mitchell, yes. And I thank goodness for Craig Mitchell, because otherwise I wouldn't eat. He makes me all my money.
We're all one.
Purple is the name of the band. At one point it was Operation Friends. This was back in, 2010, I think, was the first time that we did it. And being a huge Prince fan, it was daunting. It was scary. I've been practicing singing that falsetto since 1978, from the first album all the way through. So to be on stage, it's an honor. It's nerve-wracking every time. I literally don't sit down for like 3-4 hours. One, because I have bad hips. So the more I move, the more it doesn't look like I have bad hips when I'm on stage, but also because I'm freaking out, because I want to make sure I'm paying homage to the king. In the first few years, I would do the wig and the makeup and the whole deal, but I don't do it like a cookie-cutter Prince show. It's not, I'm paying tribute to funk and all the different genres of music that inspired him and inspired me. And so a few years ago, we had a show at Higher Ground called The Death of the Wig. And halfway through the show, I had pallbearers come up and take the wig off me and put it in a little casket. And the Higher Ground set up a big metal bucket in the parking lot. And then we did a second line, New Orleans style, out to the parking lot with the whole crowd. And then lit the wig on fire. And we danced around the wig. And then the band went inside, left everyone outside. And that was it. And the shows have been so much better ever since. We're a jam band, you know what I mean? And Prince have to be the catalyst, but we're really a jam band. That's what our thing is, and we'll play for 3.5, 4 hours nonstop. Guests up on stage, but we're rocking. Once the train starts rolling, don't stop it.
Confusion. Oh shit.
If Vermont allowed me to blossom, I'm not the blackest dude in the world, I'm not the gayest dude in the world. I'm one of those people that can ride the line a little bit. I can't speak for everyone, but at least I can get in the door. And hopefully that is enough of an impetus to get other folks to come and do their thing. I love doing things that are for social justice and for diversity and for marginalized communities. Now I've started an organization called Winooski Strong, which I live in Winooski, Vermont. And we've raised about $50,000 so far for BIPOC organizations all over the country. And that's just literally from people buying t-shirts and donating. So yeah, so it's great. I feel very honored that I get to do what I do. And in a way, hopefully it's helping and inspiring other people to do that too.
Freedom. Free to be. Free to be. You're growing up too fast.